Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bsideofmarriage podcast. My name is Rashonda, and this is my husband,
Jason.
And we are a podcast where we talk about everything related to marriage, the good, the bad, the A and B side. We want to just thank you guys for joining us for another week. Your support is greatly appreciated.
It is.
For first timers, I guess we'll explain a little bit about ourselves. I don't know.
Okay.
If this is your first time watching, thank you for clicking or listening or whatever. Me and Jason have been married for 12 and a half years. We have 3 kids, 9, 6, and 4. Sorry, I have a whole slew of birthdays coming up, so I had to remember the ages. So, 9, 6, and 4. And we have always been passionate about couples being able to maximize the potential of their marriages. Yeah. And that's just through community. And so this is a podcast where we just talk about everything related to it. So having said all that, our first segment we like to call A or B side, where we share either a positive or a not so positive moment from the week. So Jay.
So I think I'm going to A side this week.
Okay.
So my wife has started a journey on going back to school.
Oh, yes.
And I guess the moment was for her. I feel it was a B side moment, but like she needed to talk through things with me. And again, like I said, the A side moment was just her being able to, bounce things off of me to clear her head, and me being like, my thoughts is exactly what she wanted, so it was just like co-signing exactly what we need to do. So that's what I think. That's my A-side moment this week.
Okay. I would say I'm gonna share a B-side, because yes, so school has been interesting. Just getting an understanding of the program that I selected to be a part of has been a journey in itself, and just knowing the timing around it. I did not know that I was going to have to do like residencies and internships as part of the academic degree program. I thought all that would be post degree. So actually seeing all those requirements and stuff is like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Mind you, I'm not in undergrad, right? I have a family, I have a husband, I have all these responsibilities that are different than when I was in undergrad. So just having to adjust actually is me dealing with my perfectionism. Because I'm like, oh, I was supposed to knock this program out in this amount of time, and I don't think that's gonna happen. And then I'm like, but I'm a super mom, I can do all this. And I'm like, but I can't. So just being able to just come to that realization has been good, as well as just knowing that things will not be perfect going through this program. And perfection is not needed. So because as long as I'm bringing my best self to my clients, is all that's really, that's the most important part. So we'll see. So I'm sure throughout this season, even though I don't know if we have seasons of this podcast, but throughout this time, I'm taking you guys on the journey as well of me going back to school, having to write papers, doing research. Well, 3 kids are running around driving me bananas. So that's all I had to say. So this week, what are we talking about, babe?
What we're talking about is basically I would say the tools, the things that we've done in our marriage that have keeping us, strong, healthy. Because I guess I saw a quote again. Like my wife says, I always be deep.
Yes.
So that's not what it is, but I saw a quote and it triggered this for me. So it's like, the quote is, equip your marriage with tools to fight with strength and boldness on the day that you are struggling to hold on. So when I read it, it just made me think of, and I'm not gonna say it's what everybody does, but with work, when you have a job, you're trying to obtain either certifications, all these different things to help grow you in your job. But what are the tools that you use in your marriage to continue to keep your foundation strong, and for you to continue just to, like I said, have the strength to deal with anything that comes your way.
Right, because things are going to come your way. You're not gonna forever stay in the honeymoon phase. Mm-hmm. So I think that's good. What tools, what techniques, or whatever you have in your little bag.
Yeah. So now these are just the things that we've done. I'm not saying that y'all need to do everything we do, but whatever fits for your marriage, I would say do that. But these are some of the tools that we have done.
Right. So these can be like ideas that you never thought about. So yeah, if it makes sense for your marriage to incorporate, then do so.
Yeah. So the first tool that I got is marriage retreats, or was it retreats, conventions, or
conferences?
I couldn't think of it. Conferences.
Like,
sorry. So that for us, like I said, we when we first got married, we did our premarital counseling, but then we was a part of a marriage ministry, but we helped like put on all the different conferences and retreats. That's what I'm saying, conferences and retreats. And even though we was a part of putting it on, we still was able to absorb and take some things
definitely
out of the conference that continue to this day that we actually do and that we use. And it's like in the beginning, that was our I guess marital counseling, because we was able to go to these conferences, retreats. Something would trigger each of us, differently, and we would have conversations where we can talk about it and actually, build upon what we, the openness or whatever, whatever task the person who's basically the task that the person who's running it has given us, because we've been to retreats and conferences and they always give us like something to do when we go back to our room.
Homework.
Task.
I'm gonna say it's homework. It was like literally it'll be homework. So
like again, so like it allowed us to work through those things and the things that need to be addressed. So and I can think of there's not one, there's many different things that I can think of that we've.
Well, just think of one.
Okay.
Are you talking about something that we've learned at a conference or a retreat? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm trying to think. Do you have anything? Because like I said.
Oh wait, you said you can think of me.
But
I have to think. I don't know.
Because I know,
like off the top of my head, I think.
You ain't got anything?
Well, I would say one thing from a retreat that we just went to. Actually, it was our first virtual retreat. Yeah. It allowed us to talk about things that I wouldn't say were off limits, but I know what it was. It gave me the vocabulary to talk about things that I didn't know how to bring up. So it wasn't that I didn't want to talk about it. I just didn't know how to start the conversation. One, without me getting defensive, or two, Jason getting defensive. Because it was a sheer curiosity, whatever. So we were able to talk about things as far as like intimacy. Intimacy, like we were able to have a conversation about how to have deeper intimacy that I don't think we would have been able to have that level of that conversation if we didn't attend that retreat and get that verbiage, that vocabulary, because they were literally asking questions like, "Hey, have you talked about this?" or when you want to talk about this is the way to approach it. And I'm just like, "Oh, I never think about that." So, So yeah, so that's what I would say.
Okay.
Now on you.
Honestly, I guess I don't know if this is the thing. I'm still maybe of tying this basically just. I think it was finances, just dealing with finances. But was that
okay?
Just because again, we came in and we had our one way of how to do finances, and I think that one. We received like a whole package of how to do our finances, with tithing, with savings, and then actually breaking it down. And to this day, we still use that same form. So that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, well,
it's modified, but it's
definitely a beast.
It's modified.
I love a good spreadsheet. But yes, you're right. It is. That is the foundation of it was from that conference. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that's good. That's that. Yeah.
So, and then I guess the next one of the I guess not the next one, but yeah.
Well, before we move on, you have mentioned about how we did premarital counseling, and then we kind of do our counseling through like these marriage retreats and conferences. Mm-hmm. So I guess we need to elaborate a little bit more. How do we feel about marriage counseling for our relationship and so forth? So we are firm believers of marriage counseling. And we also believe that I think too often marriage counseling and marriage coaching has a negative connotation associated with it. And I just don't understand why. Because no matter what stage you are in your marriage, in your life, there's always ways or different ways to communicate about certain things, or to even think about things, and so forth. So I know. So what we're actually in the process now of finding a marriage therapist, because we like to at least once a year go and get just a checkup.
Yeah.
Just like you do your annual wellness checks, like annually we do a marriage health check. And so we are in the process of finding that person because, so we definitely believe that you need to have that from a professional kind of lens as well.
And it's also good to have someone else like that, one, I'll say, that don't know us, to be able to give us feedback or input that would help us, not so much address an issue, because it's not about going to see a therapist because we have an issue. It's basically to hone in on the things that we may be we need to do better in. If it's communicating better, it could be little things but to have that person be able to, tell us objectively, okay, I hear this is what you guys are, dealing with, struggling with, or that you guys need to just, hone in on. So it's always good to just hear that, from somebody. Again, some people could feel like, oh, they coming down on me. Why they not talking to her? It's like, but going to this, you have to be open to be able to receive, because again, whatever they tell you, it's to help your marriage. Right. So.
Yes, agree. And I think just that third party is just an objective view into it. And I would say the great thing about a third party looking in is just that they don't have any biases. Yeah. So they're going to see the situation, whether you're going through a storm or not, they can see the situation without any preconceived notions, and they can just be like, okay, so this is what I hear you're saying. I also found, because we have a financial coach as well, when it's kind of like our therapy sessions, because I will say things, or they will be able to interpret things that I'm not saying because of verbals, because of nonverbals. Yeah. And I'm able to explain a situation better when I'm trying to, when I'm talking to someone else who's like outside of the situation. I'm able to explain it better than if I'm just trying to have a conversation with Jay sometimes. And it's very strange. Cause
it's comical too.
For
me, it's
because
I'll say it's comical.
He's like, well, why didn't you just say that? But I'm like, well,
it's that, or it's be like, we had this conversation. I'm like, okay, you heard it from somebody else, and I didn't say that already. So it's like I didn't say this already, but you didn't hear me. It's both of us. It's both of us. But that's part of the reason why I say it's good because sometimes we're always talking, having a conversation with our spouse, and they can say something, and we don't receive it, but it doesn't click. And then when somebody else says, it's like they can say it exactly the same way, and it's like light bulb. But so that's why it's good to have an objective person. Yeah. Why you make that face?
Oh, just because I agree. I definitely agree.
So and then all right. So the next one is. This is something that we use quite often with a lot of we call our village family. I mean, close friends that are also married and have kids. We use monthly Bible plans, and I feel that we do this every so often. I probably 2, maybe 3 times a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And
us?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not like it's a 5-6 day. It's usually like over 20 days. Usually, it'd be long.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they'd be long. They'd be long Bible plans. But the thing about it is with the Bible plans that we do, it allows us to actually, conversate our thoughts about whatever we receive from that devotional for that day. So it allows us to bounce different ideas and just hear what everybody else thinks or what they're receiving from this, so we can actually go back to our marriages and actually work on those little things that even somebody could be doing one thing, one couple does one thing, another couple does another thing, and we can pull from each of those different things that they do well, that we're talking about.
Agreed. I don't have anything else to say about that.
Okay. And then like the other thing, it also it does reveal some things. I can say for myself, I know that these Bible plans sometimes reveal things for me, and I have to sit back and say, okay, how can I do something better? How can I, if it's, more support from my wife, if it's, I would say that's the one that usually comes up for me. I'm not gonna lie. More support from my wife. So, you got anything now?
Are we still talking about the Bible plans?
Yes.
Oh, no. I told you I didn't have anything else.
One of the things that we do is listen to podcasts together, and my wife is a big podcaster.
Yes,
and she's always sending me things if it has to deal with parenting, if it has to deal with our marriage, if it has to deal with finances. So it's, and I would say I enjoy doing this because it creates conversation between us, allows us to talk about these things that we're hearing from the podcast of, like I said, with finances, things that we could be doing better.
Right.
And then even our marriage, things that it's not so much, like I say, envy of, oh, we need to do this, what this couple's doing. It's more of, taking these nuggets that they're saying. It's like, okay, how can we bring these into, not something we bring into our marriage, but how can we do these better in our marriage? These different tools. So
and then also it's about the what if situations. I mean that's why I listen to podcasts from people from all different backgrounds, because there are things that other couples experience that, I mean, I won't say we will never, but we haven't. So just to kind of have conversations about, how would we approach this if that were to happen and stuff. So it just creates dialogue. Not necessarily everything has to be like a self-improvement, nugget, but it just creates conversation as well.
Yeah, so. And again, like for me, I'm not gonna say I'm a big podcast listener, because I'm a big note taker, so I always have to write down stuff, because if not, I'm gonna forget it. But I do enjoy the ones that she does send me, and then even the ones that we do listen to all the time together, just because it always allows us, like she said, have dialogue, and it ignites conversation. Yes. Again, I'm not a what if person, but
I am.
but it ignites conversations. So, you know, just like she said, even when we did the virtual conference, it ignited us to have a conversation, to be able to learn to better conversate and how to have conversations. So
you said converse a lot of times just now.
I did.
In one little sentence.
I probably did. Yeah. So again, I'm not saying that everybody needs to listen to podcasts, but these podcasts, again, like I said, have, you know, I'm not gonna give you a list of them.
Most people listen to podcasts because everything's on podcasts. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
They either listen or watch.
You're right. That's true. So I guess, and then another one we have are book studies. Now, we have tons of books that we've gone through.
Tons of books we've started.
No, we've gone through a few, but we still haven't finished.
We've started a lot.
Okay.
We finished some.
Okay, so how many? No,
don't go.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. So
because the problem is, I shouldn't say the problem. The deal is, I don't like. Okay, so I used to love reading books, but with kids and with the schedule, I rarely take a book, a hardcover book, a physical book, and be able to open it and do all the things. Mm-hmm. So I'm an audiobook type person, and Jay's a physical book type person. Yeah. And so our schedules don't always match when we're trying to go through a book together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but we've done, like, if a book has a study guide or something.
Yeah, that's really what I was thinking.
Then yeah, so we will go through that. It's more intentional, but we actually do most of our book studies like that in our small groups.
Yeah.
So we do small groups, usually through church, but we still now, I mean, with our group of friends, we're like, oh, hey, let's do this book, and we'll go through it and talk about it and stuff. So I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, you don't have anything? Okay.
No, that's pretty much it around books.
So, but I guess my question is how do you, like, these books, I'm not saying these books and study guides, but what is it about these study guides and books that help us, I guess not through things, but just help us in the walk that we are, this marriage that we do every day?
I would say not necessarily the books. Mm-hmm. I think it's the community and the discussion. I don't want to say conversation. Yeah. The discussion of how other people have interpret the same thing that we read. Yeah, and so it's really the conversations and discussions around how that book applies to the other couples has really, I think, did more value add than just reading the book itself. Mm-hmm. It's always about the conversation and then how to practically apply things. Yeah. So that's why I feel like sometimes that's what's missing. It's there's these grand ideas, but then it's okay, but how are we going to apply this, practically in our relationship? Yeah. So having that discussion with other like-minded people is really great. That's where it's you really can impact your marriage that way.
Okay. No, yeah, that's that's true, because we've, it's, I guess the numerous amount of small groups that we've been a part.
We've been a part.
We've always, it does. No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about it. It's
and that's really also how we've built our community, our village.
Yeah. That's true.
Based off of our relationships within small groups. It always started off around, like I said, usually it was associated with church. We'll have a small group around a particular interest or a book topic, And then out of those small groups, we were able to build true relationships with different couples within our groups. And then those are the friends that we have now, because they're, you know, their structure, their family structure is a lot like ours.
Yeah.
And so we just bond and we connected over the content, but then it's like we actually were able to build a friendship, you know, out of that. So
yeah, no, that's. I have nothing to add on. I have nothing else to add to that because I'm. So you have any other? Yes.
So as you can see, he's the boring one. He's like, this is what we did to keep our marriage on a solid foundation. We pray, we do small groups, we read books, we listen to podcasts. But for real, the real reason why we're still married is because, well, yes, because we pray. That's for sure. We keep God first. But also because we like to have fun. We like to have fun together. So one of the things that we do, we have date nights on a regular basis. I was like, you? Like, oh, we I mean, you make it sound like we take the Bible out every day. We read a scripture and... Yes. So date nights. Now listen. Quarantine did teach me one great thing about date nights is how to be flexible and how to
Ain't gotta be expensive.
Be creative. Well, it wasn't really about the expense because we were saving in quarantine because we wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. So it was really about being creative within our home or within our small area, because our pod, we didn't really develop a pod until late in the quarantine. So it was really like, how do we have date nights when everybody's at the house? And because we were selling a home, having to live in an apartment until our house was finished being built and doing all the moves and stuff, it was extremely hard. So it's like trying to be creative, but we were still able to do date nights. It wasn't weekly, but that's what I would advise, to try to do a weekly date night, or a date. A weekly date, because also what we found is that date days are great.
Oh yeah,
great. Oh, yeah. Especially when you have kids home for the summer, and like if they're doing like a day camp or summer camp, being able to sneak off during the day and have connection time, and then come back with them being all crazy, it's great. It keeps you sane too. So I just recommend doing some type of date every week. We do ours probably every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also because Jay's work schedule is crazy. So also with my new schedule, it's very flexible. So we're able to, when Jay has the like he's doing night game coverage, then we are able to do more date days, to be able to be able to get our date nights or dates
get them
in.
Get our
okay.
dates in.
Also, so I think I might need to do a post or episode or something around creative ideas for dates when you have kids.
Yeah.
Because yes, having kids makes you be very creative, whether you thought you were creative before or not. Okay. Also, what we've done is vacations. So we typically, in a normal year, we'll have at least one family vacation, and then we're having one couple, like us only.
Yes.
Like, I love my kids.
Yes.
But they don't need to go on every vacation.
Forget them kids.
They don't. Like, what makes them well-rounded kids is to see that we are good. And so in order for us to be good, we have to get away.
We got to separate.
And so, so we leave the kids and we go hopefully somewhere with beaches and sand. We've always gone on beaches and sand.
We've always done beaches
and
sand.
So we get away at least once a year.
Together we've done beaches and sand, but yeah.
Oh, we did do that one cold one when we went to New England.
Oh, that's what I was like. Yes. That was one. Okay. I was like, I thought there was one.
But typically we like to do warm, because me and cold, whatever. But so we do that at least once a year. I had a thought and I lost it, but that's all good. So what else do we do? We make sure to laugh and to not take ourselves too seriously, mainly me. But what's funny is you're always telling me not to take you don't allow me to take myself too seriously, but then when we come on a podcast, you're like Mr. Serious. It's really hilarious because he's the funny one, like in day-to-day life. And
okay, so
for some reason, when he gets in front of the camera, he's like,
no, it's producing the episode. I because that's just me. I'm not thinking of that because I'm thinking of like what are the not say practical things that we've done. I'm not thinking of just how I am because not everybody's gonna be silly or crazy or like try to be funny and try to make you laugh. Not everybody probably does that, so I didn't. That stuff I didn't think about. So
okay. So to that point, so what do you do when you feel like I am taking myself too seriously?
Oh, you want to say that on camera? Okay.
Wait, what?
So when she takes herself seriously, like I said, I try to make her laugh. I try to make her smile, and it's really small little things that I do. Like I said, it's eat one like
that just small little things. To make, this is like just leave it at that. The small little things to make you laugh.
No examples. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, I'm done.
I mean, I don't know where that was going. So that's why I didn't want to let you go out too far. So that's why I was like, just leave it out. But it's little things. So he'll make me laugh. So I'll be like, okay, this is not that serious. Also, I think something else that we do that allows us to show up well for each other is to actually have self-care time. And it looks different for each person. But also it's also just spending time with other like wives in my case and other husbands, where they do whatever y'all do. whatever the husbands do, but like getting away, just having, sometimes just hang out with the boys and us
recently
ladies.
I went camping for the first time. Never been camping before, so
for
real camping, like intense. I've never done it before, and like I said,
and I never want to do it.
And like I said, it was good. Like I said, I'd do it again, But maybe I had a good camping trip this time. Maybe next time it might be dreading. Maybe really hot. But like I said, it was good. Like I said, I was able to just be out in nature. Didn't get stung. Not stung, but I didn't get bit by anything. Really wasn't too many animals around the area. So like it was
not my definition of fun.
Like it was good. It was good. Like we like I said, it was a good time. And I was like I said, normally I don't normally go on trips with just guys. Like I don't think we really go out like trips as a couple with people. So if we go somewhere, it's just us. Like, can you think of a trip we never went on like a couple trip where it's we
just couples?
Yes, we've never done that.
No, because we all have kids.
I know.
And so we've gone on family trips.
Yes, we've done family.
Like we've done whole families but.
Yeah, we've never done. I was saying just like adults, couples, no kids. We've never done that.
I don't think we have. Yeah. Well, but it was for a wedding. I was like, I don't think so. I think unless we were going to a wedding, it's.
Yeah. That's why
it's been families because we all understand the struggle. Yeah. It's so hard to be able to leave your kids and be able to make sure that everyone can find sitters or childcare, so we can all go. And then it's like, when we go, can we really disconnect? Yeah. We have it. Maybe we should try. I know in our village we've tried and we've gone on 0 trips. So that's how successful we've been.
Yeah. So like I said, to go on a all boys trip, I'm just like, for me, I guess I never had that want to do that because I'm like, I just don't want to go on a trip with just dudes. Like, but this camping trip kind of showed me like, I can go on a camping trip with like-minded people and still enjoy myself. I missed some things while I was gone, but I was able to zoom in and see some things. But it was a good trip though.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for my trip.
You just gotta tell me when and where.
Well, the way my checking and savings is set up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So is there anything else that you can think of that we some of the tools and tips we've
well, we have found what we love to do together. And we do those things together. Like, so we're foodies, so we like to try different restaurants together. As far as activities,
bowling.
Yes, Jay has made me into a bowler.
Yes.
I mean, before we got married, I liked bowling. I even took it in college, but I really took it to boost my GPA. But yeah, it's like a whole thing now.
Yeah.
We've tried. Yeah, so we've tried to take a true interest in what the other person really likes to do.
Yeah.
Because Jay and his dad had a super duper intense relationship with sci-fi movies.
Oh yeah.
And now that's a tradition
in our family.
Like in our family. Yeah. About seeing all of the Star Wars
Trek. Yeah, we've seen all the Star Treks too.
I think I've seen those by default. I literally couldn't tell you anything about Star Trek. Star Wars, yes, I'm learning.
All the Avengers.
But all of the Avengers, yes, brought me into all that space. Yeah. So we've done that. And what else?
So you just named two things that I brought you in. What's the
That's a great question. I don't know.
Okay.
I know. What football?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
I was about to say.
Well, it's not even just football. It's Texas A&M
Yes.
University.
Yeah.
Giga Max. He's taken that on.
Yeah, I married into this.
The insanity of Maroon.
Yes, I have. So, yeah, like I said, growing up, I didn't really like any Texas team because, they got all this national coverage while I was living in New York, and I'm like, why do they get this coverage? Then I moved down here, and I see why.
Yeah.
We
take our football seriously.
Yes.
And like football, no matter the age, it's a big thing.
Yes.
I'll never forget when we went to a high school football game, and it was at one of the it's a nice stadium.
It's a college stadium,
and we pull up, and G's like, "I thought we were going to a high school game." I said, "Oh, this is like the high school stadium."
They got complexes.
Yeah,
like
he was amazed.
Complex, like. Going to a high school game for me, being in New York, we're gonna go this, in the school, the stadium, and it don't look like it sits a college team. And then there, like I said, like the stadium took us to Selfcare. Mind you, I didn't know that all the teams in the Selfcare district play at this school.
They don't.
I thought they all played games at.
No, because Selfcare is a huge district.
Okay. So that's what I assume because I'm looking at this huge complex. I'm like, yo, this is a college. It's like, wow, why we at a, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
They didn't win in this thing. I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. I'm like, wow. But I've never seen that in New York. They're serious out here. They're serious.
Yeah, we're very serious. All the bigger districts tend to have like one stadium. One large stadium, depending on the size of the district, it could be two big stadiums because they probably have like either north or south side, west, east kind of thing. But yeah, so he was very impressed by that. And then when I took him to an Aggie game and we tailgated, and he fell in love.
Yeah, never seen anything like this. Never seen it.
And actually, since then you were like, okay, so then you want to tailgate an NFL game.
Yes.
We've
done the.
So we've been doing the tailgating part,
Yes.
pretty religiously.
Yeah.
We're overdue though, but hopefully COVID will behave so we can go.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Cause I can indoctrinate, whatever. I can bring in another person who is not well versed in Texas football.
Oh, okay.
And I can open up their eyes too.
Oh,
it's gonna be great. I can't wait. I just need the Aggies to have a decent season and we'll be okay.
Well, yeah.
So, anyways.
But yeah. So, I guess I can't think of anything else. Like, is there anything else you can think of? Any tools that I can't think of anything else. I just know that I would say if you don't have anything else, I was kind of gonna say one thing.
Okay.
Just understanding that being in marriage is a continual learning process.
Yes.
You're gonna have ups and downs. You're going to, learn something because we're ever changing. We're always changing
As individuals.
Yes, as individuals,
yes.
We're changing. So to being able to understand that this journey, this process, is not something that is gonna stay. I don't say stay the same. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
It's gonna be stagnant.
Yeah. See,
Yes.
big words. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's gonna be a continuous process, and we got to continue to just be ready to to handle anything that comes our way, any changes that happen. Just be okay, and just knowing that this is a journey that we're going on together. So.
Yeah, I will say, to kind of piggyback off of that, the one thing that is going to remain constant is that things are going to change, as well as communication is going to be the main tool.
Yeah.
Effective communication is going to be the main tool in order for you to navigate through all the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I change as an individual, I need to be able to communicate that, yes, 3 weeks ago or 2 years ago, that worked for me. Like the way we had, the way we were managing our household and managing our relationship work. But now it doesn't. Now I need more time. Now I need more either time to myself, or we need more quality time together. Like being able to communicate my needs in a respectful manner as things change, and my frustrations, is gonna be like, that's gonna be your main tool.
Yeah, and it's like we tell our kids, we're not mind readers.
Yes.
So same thing goes in our marriage. Like we're not mind readers. I can't read my wife's mind. Mm-hmm. Only way I'm gonna know if you tell me, if she tells me. So that's, like I said,
That's funny, because one thing I used to think, I was like, oh, we're gonna be like the cute married couple where we can finish each other's sentences. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It actually frustrates the mess out of Jay. Because he'll start saying something, and then I'm like, oh, da-da-da. And he's like, no.
And I'll just be like,
da-da-da. No. He's like, can you just stop? Let me get it out. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
because she'll just jump in. I'm just like, let me know when you're done.
I was like, we're supposed to finish. Like, we've been together over 12 years. Of course I can finish a sentence. No. Now, there might be things that, yes, I know he likes. Like, certain food. So, like, if I'm out, I'm like, hey, I see something with mango in it, I'll probably pick it up. But guys, that's about it. That's truly about it. That's remained the same. So
They're funny. So I guess that's it, huh?
I think that's all.
Okay.
All right. So once again, thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, actually just go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Anything you want us to talk about, hit us up in the DMs, Bsideofmarriage, Instagram, and then the Bsideofmarriage on Facebook. I'm gonna learn it one day.
We both do it all the time.
Also, we have merch. So be on the lookout. We're going to be posting pre-order sales soon.
Yes, we will. Well, that's everything. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Later.
Peace.